Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Zooregetta is a budget price game that I found on Amazon. I thought, hey, we'll get this into the house, we'll play it with the kids and see what it is. We like animals. I kind of like these budget games. I like to try new things. And what I got was a simple roll and move type of game. Now, this is one of those educational games where it kind of grows with your child. So it has 3 games inside of it. The first side is one side of the map, which is just a simple roll and move. You roll the dice, you move, it's a race. So it's a lot with Haba, so I don't want to be too overly hard on it. And there is a place for that for younger gamers. So if you have a very young gamer, I think the roll and move will be fine. You roll, you race, there's no decision to be made, but you're teaching the kids how to roll dice and you are teaching them how to take turns and some very simple board gaming instruments here that you'll utilize in many other games. You're going to flip the map over. You're going to have what I would call the base game or the main event game. Then you're going to have an advanced version. So the base game is really just roll and move again. You're going to be moving around the board, and then you'll be picking up things and delivering them. So a little bit simple of a pick up and deliver game for kids. Some decisions about where you want to move at and some simplistic decisions, but I think are fine. Then the advanced game where somebody can be the patrol and they'll be kind of moving around the board trying to steal things from you. And there you go. That's Zooregetta. 3 games in 1 box. Now, look, this is a cheaper game. The components are cheaper. The price is cheaper. You can get this at a very good price. If you're just looking for a budget-conscious game, I think this is fine. So make a fine gift for somebody. But I think if you're wanting to sit down and you want to buy a game, I think there are better games on the market than this one. This is going to be for the younger gamers. Maybe you're learning how to do stuff. Roll and move is new, and you want to implement some of those things. I would kind of see if I was going to get a game like this, I might be more driven towards an IP-laced game. That's a little bit unfair to this game, but it's just me. If I'm going to do a roll and move, my kids will probably want to see Disney slapped on it or Marvel or something, especially when they were younger, like Disney. But if you like animals and you're looking for something simplistic or you're looking for a gift at a good budget price, this could be it. Otherwise, this might be something you want to skip on by. I think it's for a certain demographic, and that's where they'll sit at. For me, my kids at their age, it will be a Purge. Zooregetta. This is a really weird game I got on Amazon. A lot of different languages on the back, but it comes in a kind of a cheap cardboard box that opens up like this. You don't see this a whole lot in a board gaming. We'll take a look at the rules in a few minutes. You're going to get this little white box that will have some ships and, oh, these are nice pre-printed ships and a red die in there. You're going to get some of these little ships, and you can pop these bombs and stuff out where they'll fit on side there. And then you're going to get, oh, this board is not very nice. You're going to get a little cheaper of a board, but I don't mind that if it's from a small publisher with things going on there. And then you have a double-sided board because there's a lot of different games that come in here. Components are okay. This is from a small publisher. Don't grade it too hard, but just kind of know that the quality of these are not very good. On this board, it's got knights on here. It's very colorful. I like that quite a bit. The box is not going to hold up for a long time. This feels like something I would get a pizza in rather than a board game. Book is just this little page. There's no cover to it, which is kind of weird. You're going to have about the game, how it was made, the contents that come in there, and then you're going to start getting different rules inside here. I'm not real big on different types of games. You're going to see a race game, Zooregetta. You're going to have whirlpools, animal loading, catch the pirate. So there's 3 different games inside here that you can play. Not a huge fan of that, but maybe some families will be looking for, maybe a budget title they can get with some variety in it. The rulebook's okay. I think it's just a children's game, not a whole lot of rules. I think you'll be able to pick it up and play with it, maybe grow with it a little bit with this rule set. And I think most, even non-gamers, can pick this up and play it. This game is very simple to play. So you're going to try to get from the start all the way down to the finish. The trick is you can't go across the land, so you have to go through this, and you're going to be rolling a die. So it's a classic roll and move. And when you roll, I rolled a 2, so this guy will move 2 spots. If you rolled a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd move 4 spots. Now, the trick is the blue clear ones are safe landing, if you can see that on the board. But each spot on the board may have something else to do. For example, up here you have a shark. If you were to land on the shark spot, you just have to go back 1 space. Now, if you get down here and you get on an octopus and you land on this space, and you have to go all the way back, following this red line to get all the way back to here.
If you land on one of these spaces right here that has the little boops here, so if I landed here, I'd have to go back 2 spaces. If I land on this one, I have to go back 3. And this one I have to go back 4. So based on how many of these hits you have is how far backwards you have to go. So if I'm on this spot, for example, and I roll the dice and get a 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I went through it clearly. But had I rolled a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I would go all the way back. If you happen to land on the spot with the reefs, which is this spot right here, then you will have to miss a turn. Don't you love missing a turn? That's what you'd have to do there. Other than that, it's just a roll and move, and you race and go all the way through here and be the first one to get to the finish line. So to set up this side of the board, which is called Zooregetta, it's pretty easy. You will have a number of these little animals. So if you're playing 2-player, 2 animals will go out. If you're playing 3, 3 animals will go out. And then you put those out on the board on the spaces that are already marked for them. So you can see the lion there. You place them there. And then each player will choose a port they will start in. There's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 up in Boston. Then you roll the dice to see who the first player is, and you're ready to go. This game is very easy to play. You're going to take the die, and you're going to roll it, and that's how many spaces you can move. A couple rules is you can't move into the same space with somebody else. It has to be a hex, so I couldn't move like here in South America. And I can't end up where I started it. So I can't go 1, 2, and be in Rio de Janeiro. So I would go here to the lion spot. You're also going to have these little current spots on the board. If you were to tap one of these, let's say it was right here and I rolled a 2, I'll go 1, 2, and then the current would move across a different space. So there is some strategy about hitting these currents and how to get through them. So, if you were right here and I rolled a 2, this would be 1. That does not add 2, and I can move all the way up through there. So the current's going to keep pushing you through. You're also going to have these whirlpool spots on the board. If you're able to get to one of those, you will then roll the die, and you will come out of the whirlpool with that number. In this case, I rolled a 1, so I would go all the way up there. If I had rolled a 3, I would go all the way down here. So it kind of takes you around the board, but it's randomly set up. Now, in our example before, I had landed on a lion. So then what I would do is I would take this lion, and I would put him in the little spot here. Obviously, I wouldn't do this on the board, but he would take up that spot, and I know that I'm one of the 6 ways to get to the final. I'm trying to fill up all of these spots. Now, one caveat is at the beginning of the game, each player's going to have 2 of these bombs. If you're ever next to somebody, let's say this guy wanted to shoot at the red guy, because the red guy has an animal, he can spend 1 of his bombs, and then he will roll the die. If he rolled a 4, there's nothing there, then it's empty. If he had rolled a 1, this guy would come out and go back to his natural habitat. So there's a little bit of take that, and you have 2 of these bombs that you can spend during the game. Once you get all 6 of your animals filled up, you can then return to where you started at. In this case, you started at Rio de Janeiro, and you would be the winner of the game. So you have to fill up all 6 animals and get back to your port. The third game is called Catch the Pirate. And what this means is that whoever has the white sails will be the patrol, and the other players will be the pirate. So in this case, you will put 1 animal less than the number of players. So in a 3-player game, there will be 2 of each animal. And what the pirate players are still trying to collect all of the animals, get all 6, and back to their port, just like in a regular Zooregetta game. But in this game, one person is playing the patrol, and they're trying to catch the pirates in the game and not the animals. So a few rules. So in the whirlpool, if the pirate is here, if the patrol is here, let's say at the 3, and you go into a whirlpool as a pirate, and you happen to roll the dice and come out where he is, then you will be captured. In this game, the bombs are used a little bit differently than the regular Zooregetta version. In this case, when you bomb an opposing ship, instead of returning the animal back to its native habitat, you steal it for your ship. So if somebody has a lion and you don't, you might want to go after them to get that lion, so now you could have one and not them. Another thing you can do is, if you're on a spot, you can drop your bomb and use it as a mine. So it would go into that spot, and as you move, it would stay there. If a pirate, another pirate, or a patrol comes on that spot where that bomb is, then they would lose their next turn. So it's kind of like setting a trap for them or giving an extra space they can't go into. If the patrol lands on a hex near, they will be able to take the pirate off the board, and what he's trying to do is capture these guys. Once he's captured all of them, the patrol would win. If one of these guys get all the animals and back to the port. So it might be fun for a parent to play as the patrol versus another child.
Who should buy this game? I think you're looking at somebody who has younger gamers or a gift-giving incident here. So I don't think it would go outside of that very much. If you really don't like IP-driven games, this plays a lot like a mass market game. If you just don't like an IP, or you don't want to buy an IP game, or you just want the animals on it, which this one I have, I guess that's the IP, right? The animals. Then this will be a good choice for you. Otherwise, I think there are other options. I'd look at some hobby games, but for the budget-friendly, this is a decent game for you to get if you don't mind the roll and move mechanism. So for us, it'll be a Purge. My kid's a little bit aged out of this one, and I don't know that it was good enough to stick around. The parents aren't going to have very much fun playing this
Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.